We go. Good. Hi guys, and welcome to the analysis of the final day 3 of week 4 in PEL. I'm Toby, and if you've seen the videos before, you know the drill. If you haven't, welcome. We watch through Pro League PUBG matches, and I try to sound smart. I try to provide info for some of you guys, and yeah, I hope you learn something. And if you feel like I say something that doesn't make sense, feel free to write in the comments if you're on YouTube below. If you're watching on Twitch, feel free to give any feedback you may, or just engage in conversation. I feel like, because I don't know everything in PUBG, and I don't think anyone does, to be honest. But I think we can all learn a lot together. So if I say something that you think is completely wrong, feel free to say, Toby, I think you're completely wrong, and then tell me why you think I'm wrong. So it's not just ooh, these guys went from here and then they went over here. Yes, we can see that. We have to go more into the why did they do what they did, or what is the idea of going here rather than going here, or you know what I mean? Just all these things. Question yourself in those things, question what you see, and that way we'll all learn more. But let's get straight into game number 1. We'll let the plane come through. Pretty decent plane. I mean, if you want to go Valle del Mar, that's probably not optimal, but the only team that really hard commits south is N47, and they should be able to get what they want. Gamer Legion didn't want to have to fly over the heads of Liquid and Picado, so this is gonna be open phase. They're up here. They would most likely just rotate down this way. They have looted down here a couple of times before, but they're most likely, depending, okay, no, never mind. I was gonna say depending on the circle, but they would most likely normally, had it gone anywhere east or south, rotate through Monte, so they could rotate out the ways that they normally do. But I would assume that they stay up and around here. When we talk southern circles, we always say, oh, Los Leones, that's that big city and it blocks off everything. And the northern side, it's these two. These two big craters. You can't really just send it through. I mean, technically you can. If you make it up and you go through, you can go down on the other side. But if you don't, like, if you're not Crow Crowd, you know that there's going to be people there, and you can't just immediately send it through. So odds are either you have to wrap on one side, wrap on the other, or as we said, try and drive through, knowing that there's most likely going to be teams around. So this area here is going to take up a lot of the center space, which will force teams to, well, at least in the first circle, play it closer on the edges. And we've talked a lot about these areas before. The roads are the low points. You have the hills around. And I think for this circle in particular, hills are going to be... Let's try and draw up all the hill spots that we know people play from. Here. I don't think this is going to be taken because you're really visible to here. But here, this compound, up here, down here, and could be going up here, Crow Crowd. I'm not sure if that's what they're going to do, but something like that. And then you can play the lines up there as well. We've drawn up some of the areas in the center of the circle. Let's see how many teams opt to take those places early game rather than sit in compounds in the low areas. Just fast forward it, let it kind of run out and see what they do. 7 is then crabbing immediately up to the compound. He's gonna run along the line. Yep, that's gonna be them taking this one. Noki, he's gonna go over here. NIP, they're gonna go over here. Wanted, up there. They're all going exactly what we're saying. There. Still up here. Reels went here. NIP went here. You see what I mean? Gamer Legion went here. We've drawn up the high points that are good to play from. And right off the bat, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, they're not right there yet. 6. They played here before. 7, 8, 9. I didn't see anyone drive through here, but NIP was also over here. So we've had all... Oh, that's Iro. We've had all 10 of 11 spots used already in this game. Goes to show, high point, high ground vision is a priority, especially in this area when the high points are as high up as they are, because you can see well, that much more terrain. Gamer Legion, no, Gamer Legion G2, they're coming in late. I'll see them driving. I'll read your question in just a second, Snaps. Desperados driving around DA. They'll probably go and see if they can scout further forward from here. But now the new circle pops. And again, the issue with all these areas is, as we said before, driving through them. Yes, it's faster, but it's also very dangerous. So a lot of time you have to wrap around. Doesn't matter which way you're going. That's a nice arrow. And all the whole going down, flat, up again on the other side, down, flat, up again on the other side. It takes a lot of time and it's extremely dangerous. And when you go down, you lose vision on the compound. So from the time you're down here, if let's say we're going down to where reciprocity is, you have like all this time, we'll draw it up in red. You're driving without knowing if a team came here. So you have to sacrifice or commit one person to staying behind. Now let's see that new circle pop. Oh, that's interesting. I have never ever, and it's obviously not going to happen again, but seen an Alcantara ending. That could be even Trailer Park. I've never seen ending. I don't think I've ever landed in Trailer Park. Have you guys ever landed in Trailer Park? I'd be surprised if you said yes. In any case, this circle is horrible in a lot of ways because A, we have La Cobraria. I don't think a lot of teams want to rotate through that. Maybe an IP because they know it's open. B, we have this whole ridge line here, which is really, really, really risky to drive through. That's going to be hard. And then we have El Pozo on the south. That's going to be scary too. And you can kind of see what we're drawing up here, right? This might be a rotation path, but for Desperados to go through here, I would honestly either wrap all the way under or wrap all the way around. This is a this is scary. This is scary rotation. So I'm gonna, if we had a yellow color, I would draw this and that because this is a only in desperate needs rotation route. I want to see what they do though. Wrap around. Yep. I mean, there's just nothing to come for, and that's all the way from honestly here all the way to here. So this side of the circle, it's not impossible to rotate through, but it's extremely dangerous. And look at how many teams are caught on the wrong side of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Technically 8 with an IP as well. They can just make their way through. But still, 8 teams are caught on the wrong side of the circle. You can see they're all wrapping over. They're all coming in over here. Because they don't want to go through the city. They're all wrapping around. Now NIP, G2 forced to take a fight. They're gonna square off early. Reciprocity coming in late. Desperados went underneath them, so they get into a better spot. A little shortcut here. Ends they're coming in through El Pozo. Now we'll see the new circle pop. And we go center. This is a fun area for 2 reasons. One, it's not an area we go to a lot, so teams might not know it inside out the same way that they know some of the dips more center or east side of the map. And B, there's a lot of difference in the terrain. So you have the whole crater still in up here. And everything else pretty much is just downhill towards the road. And that makes makes for an extremely uneven surface for teams to kind of fight their way through today. Let's see, ends to get himself a compound. N47, Desperados forced to fight. FaZe, they're kind of caught in the middle between everything. Fuss is hiding in a shack. Or not hiding, but playing a shack. Let's see what else we got. TSM playing the east side. Liquid, they're sitting center. This is actually a pretty decent spot to be in at this point. Ratio Edge and Reciprocity fighting on the left side. And also again, we have this road crossing through. Nobody wants to be on the wrong side of it. And well, I mean, it's still in for the most part. And now all of this. All of these guys in the crater, TSM and Knights, they need to get the hell out of the crater, because at some point soon, if you're a Crow crowd in this position, you don't stay in the compound. You need to go up and play aggressive on the hill, even potentially over here, to make sure that nobody is coming in from behind. You need to make sure this is clear. You need to make sure that you're holding all of this, and you need to make sure that no one is wrapping underneath you on the backside. It's the difficult thing to do, because that's a lot of opponents to have to watch out for. But they need to. They cannot just be passive, because that'll be just teams sitting all around them, and that's going to make for a really hard situation. At the same time, Na'Vi, of course, with the circle shifting away, they have to figure out, do we want to go to the circle, knowing that teams are going to be coming behind? Or do we maybe want to try and spread out up here and try and see if we can get kills on the guys that are inside the crater still? So they drive over, around, TSM drive around. They just full on sent it. Interesting. Full speed down the hill. 2 go down from TSM, Gustav and Iroh. Navi gets this dead center spot. Again, that's the thing you can do here, because most teams don't know these areas too well. And yes, I know the Miramar has been in for a long time, but when is the last time you guys remember seeing a trailer park ending in competitive PUBG? I think we had 2 games on... I was casting Contenders phase 2, and I think we had 1 game that ended like up here somewhere. But that's the furthest north I've been. I mean, not in the furthest north because we go here, but like furthest west and north I've been in a very long time. So let's see. Navi obviously not in the best spot, still getting knocked here and there. They have to play in the open. Liquid. Ooh, that's a knock coming in. Was that 2 knocks coming in? Samty goes down. Gemty goes down. So they know now, Ratio Edge, we have 2 knocks. We have a chance to cross. If we don't do it now, we ain't never gonna get that position. So they get the knocks and immediately full speed forward, crashing over towards. Now they do get the reses up, but they don't have time to. Oh, they actually now they do, because Ratios don't commit to it. I thought they were just gonna full speed push them, but seems like they're going up, but then playing passive. They do get the flushes. Okay, so they do get them down. Good job by Ratios. Now they have to hold off G2. They see them pushing in. Brags go down. Nelos, Yanis will focus on the south in just a moment. Nels and Yanis, they have to push through. Nice little hold here. They're preventing them from going in. Need to be able to hold them off. Gets down 1. Yanis still alive. He goes down 2. Great play. All right, let's rewind a little. So while that happens up here in the top of your screen, and they mean some of the southern side. TSM, they can't really play a whole lot from where they are. They just have to wait. Ends, they know that their warehouse is going to get shifted out from, so they park their vehicles close so they can make the rotation in. At the same time, you don't really need the vehicles, but you want to have them for cover. I mean, you're not going to be driving a lot, but you want to have the cover. Vehicles, push on over, face plenty of vision from where they're sitting. They can try and hold off, because the more teams they can eliminate up here. If the circle shifts north, you can't just go like that, because then all these guys will be shooting at you. So then you can, if there's no one here, then you can wrap around. And also B, by not having anyone here, there's a smaller threat that if the circle comes to you, that anyone would come crash you from that side. So face, they get the circle, they get the compound, they get to stay inside. Fuss is still hiding in this shack. He's been there since, I don't even know, circle 2 or circle 1 maybe even. I don't think they were all the way up here in circle 1. Maybe they were actually, because they landed up here. Maybe Fuss has been in that shack the entire game. Game of Legion, they do go down. Desperados, they play on the other side of the road. Again, big downhill towards the compound. Navi pushed by Ratio Edge. This fight escalates, therefore Desperados see the time to cross. Great, because they needed to cross that road, right? They were the last team, Desperados, that had to get over this road. And once these 2 teams start engaging each other, they you can see as soon as the knocks come in, they full speed forward, move their way over in that direction. TSM get taken down. Timmy is there to help. Now face go take the dot. It's the final circle, so they want to have the center point. 3v4v3 or 3v3v4. Face there in the middle. Well, this is a scary position to be in the middle in, because Desperados, if they get down Uber, they can wrap on this side, while Ratio Edge could come over here, and that could actually cause a third party. We'll see though what happens. One gets flushed. That allows for Fuss Face to cross over. Gets back up again, off flush, but knocked. But look at how much control Face has. They can't push into this, but they have full control of this side. They need to wrap something. If they wrap over this way, they might be able to force a sandwich on towards, like a push from each side on towards Desperados. Because as long as Mexi's main role here, you can see he's not moving with them. Mexi is not pushing with the guys. While they're going this way, Mexi has to make sure that Ratio Edge can't push here. Because if they all commit 4 people to running this way, then they get damage done. They might take damage. They have to reload their guns. They might need to heal. In the meantime, they'll come over and take the center position. Keep in mind, this is the final circle, right? So Mexi stays. Great positioning. Great playing by him. Has to control it. Takes down one. Ratio Edge is there. Now they're pushing in. Desperados gets one more, so it's a 3v3 now. HG has a good top position. Linksy finds him. Fuzzface does damage towards Linksy. Mexi goes down. And now it's a 2v1. Fuzz, you're all on your own. What can you do, buddy? Goes down. So Ratio Edge wins it. That's an important win for Ratio Edge. Important win for them, considering the fact that that they had such a tough week. So good. Game 1 win for them. How many kills did they get with it? Not that many, I think. Oh my god, yes, they did. Links. Oh yeah, they were holding the north as well. They get 15 kill win. That's impressive. Very impressive. And they play it smart from the start. They don't want to engage early, so they push over the, like they wrap over from behind. They were caught on the wrong side, right? You see this shift. We talked about it before. They're sitting up here. Watch this. Circle shifts. They go up. Over. Whoops. Over. New circle pops again. And by going north around, by not... NIP and G2 go into the city. We just talked about it. You don't want to go in there because once you get caught, if you get caught with another team in, it's very hard to leave. Ratio Edge, they say, we're not going to waste our time on this. They wrap all the way around. They go over, find a position, and now because they're up here, they have room to maneuver on the northern side. So no matter where the circle shifts, unless if it goes really hard south, which it doesn't go hard south, but it does go south, they can still play from where they are. Rotate around again. Try scout forward as you move. Linksy stops to look forward. They push further forward. They see reciprocity split, and they push into 2 and get the kills on 2 of them. Now they have room once again. Big buffer zone for Ratio Edge to move in. They get the 2 knocks. That calls for the push. And the rest we kind of followed. So great player from the very start, getting hard shifted away from. On the offside of La Cobraria, but decides to go over the city rather than try and crash through. And, well, they get themselves a win with 15 kills. Good performance by Ratio Edge, and that's game number 1 in the book. And again, if it goes too fast, some of the things I say, please feel free to write in the chat. Hey, Toby, could you repeat that? Or anything like that. It's like being a school teacher, you know? Just, if you don't hear it, I'm not gonna say it again if you don't write. Any chance for contenders analysis? No, I don't think so. Not that I don't want to, but if I was only doing PEL, then yes, I would also do contenders. But there is too much going on. I have PEL, I have NPL, I have the Korean League, and I'm already behind on the Korean League. And I want to do the Chinese finals as well. So there's a lot of PUBG analysis to be done, and I just cannot prioritize contenders over that. Yes, sorry, Snaps. I will say, look at that now. One question: how do you prepare yourself for a hard shift? I think first of all, it is extremely circle dependent. I mean, it depends on where on the map you get hard shifted from. There are so many factors that come into play, Snaps. I mean, if you know, first of all, depends on how you play. Do you like to go center? Do you like to sit on the edges? If you get hard shifted away from and you were in the center previously, then you're still going to be kind of on the edge of that circle. But if you were on the opposite side, then you have a really long rotation. Then you need to put into account where did people land? Where did the plane come from? All these things that you need to constantly remind yourself in order not to forget it, where all those things happen. So let's say you loot Impala and the first circle pops like we saw last game. You go to San Martin. This is just an example. You would never go to San Martin. But you go there and the next circle does this. So now all of a sudden you're in San Martin and the circle is up here. What do you do? It depends. If it was a plane out here, then you might know that there is a safe rotation up here. If it was a plane that went like this, then you might know that this is contested, but there was not that many people here, so you can run through. It really depends on the situation you're in, plane path. There's a lot of things that play a role in that. No, not necessarily, Alrian. Again, depends a lot on your playstyle and what you like to do. If you go center early, let's say the circle pops over, like circle 2 pops up over the Hacienda area, If you take compounds early in Hacienda, odds are you might not get any kills that entire game. You might get top 5, but you won't necessarily get kills. And there are some teams that like running around on the edges more, with the chance of getting shifted away from, of course, but it's extremely team dependent. Let's go into game 2 though. Decent plane. Everyone can pretty much go where they want to. Ents couldn't really get over to their La Bandita split. They're gonna loot south, we've seen that before. DA will take the northern side of the loss. Desperados didn't want to go Impala, so they'll take their Chuma split. And that's gonna, I guess you can say, kind of condense Gamer Legion a little more in where they can play from. That is true. That is true. It can be extremely difficult, Snaps. It can be extremely difficult if you don't. Like for this, most people already know where everyone lands. But I agree, when it's just public games or Faceit games for that sake, it can be difficult. But still, then one thing you can do when you play Faceit is... and I'm gonna make a video on this soon anyway, but I'll gladly tell you what you can do is you turn around the plane. Like when you're in the plane, instead of looking forward, you look backwards, see where they jump out, and then you try and find a spot later in the plane path. So let's say the plane goes like this, then instead of jumping El Pozo, you jump Porto Paraíso or Impala. So you've had all the time from here all the way down to here to see which direction teams they were jumping. And then you can say, okay, in this plane path, let me just remove this. In this plane path here, I saw 6 teams jump to the left, and I only saw 2 teams go this side. Just an example. Then you know that if the circle goes here, there's going to be a lot more teams coming from down here than there was from this side. Does that make sense? So jumping later in the plane will give you more info early. It might not be worth it, because the opposite side, if you jump early, you might already have started looting before this guy even lands on the ground. So you get more looting time, but you don't have so much info. You have to balance which you prefer more, looting time or information. When you're in a lobby where you don't know so much about the opponents, maybe jump later, because then it will give you more info. I don't know. But in any case, let's get this game underway. So, ooh, interesting circle. That's funny. I'm looking at Liquid right now and seeing what they're doing, because Knights, I will assume, should probably go down and play something around here. Liquid, I've seen do different things in these circles, but it all depends on what Gamer Legion does. I've seen Gamer Legion, like this has been games where FaZe has pushed down early, Gamer Legion has pushed in early, and Desperados have had a lot of trouble. Hey, Paperthin! Thank you so much for the raid, man. For those of you guys who don't know who Paperthin is, why would you not know? He's a legend. Not only is he a nice guy, and I think I'm right in saying a friend of mine, but he also, alongside me sometimes, he is a Korean PKL caster, and he casts those games from his channel. So now that he's here anyway, press his name, click follow, and then you can watch the Korean League on his channel. Maybe you might even see me get to cast with him. Maybe that might be on Wednesday. Who knows? But throw him a follow, guys, if you're into competitive PUBG. And Poro is here too. You know what? Throw Poro a follow too. He has been, I don't know if you still do it, Poro. Poro has been streaming the NPL scrims, so the American teams practice games, which, again, competitive PUBG, you can learn a lot from it. He's a very smart guy. They're both really smart guys. So drop them follows, go on their Twitters, follow them in there as well, and just, yeah, enjoy. Oh, feels bad, man. In any case, he's a great guy nonetheless. So give him a follow too. But let's see here. Desperados, as I said, they've had a hard time with these circles. And that's the funny thing, right? Because you have all the room in the world when you loot Chuma. Now they have the circle too. The thing is, the way they've been splitting earlier, and I'm kind of seeing this already, there is no way in hell that Simsi and Tomil can do anything if Hamster and Fex decides to push in. Not that they would push into Chuma, but still, if FaZe decide to push on Simsi, Calvin and Ultra won't be anywhere near there to help. So, seems like they're committing to play together earlier. I like to see that. Ultra, I see. Okay, so they're gonna split kind of 1-2-1, which makes sense in this situation. They can all hold each other. They all have like a triangle from which they can all spot one another. It's gonna be hard to get down to Ultra, but if he can force the team to push on the backside, that should still give his teammates time, because they're driving downhill here, so they should be able to get here rather quickly if a team decides to push on towards them. Liquid, as I would expect, going underneath towards church. They've been fighting for that church a lot of times before. This time around, though, not necessary. And also we have Ents. Keep in mind, guys, Ents, they didn't go east coast. They actually looted down here already. And I would assume them just go towards Valley. Yep, they do. They do. Go towards Valdemar. And then I think they're going to stay on the southern side just because we have 2.5, but kind of 3 different mountain ridges. One goes up here. One goes up here. And when you're on the roads, we've talked about it before too. When you're playing these roads on each side, you're in the, like, we're talking valley, like big time valley points. And having to travel over the top, into the bottom, over the top to a new valley, like high point, that's gonna take you a lot of time. And the later in the game we get, if the circles keep going down in this area, the more people will be looking at you and going up those hills and down those hills. It's really, really, really dangerous. So so I don't think Ents is gonna hard commit to one valley before they know which, at least before they have somewhat of an idea which of them it's gonna go to. Because right now, Circle 1, I mean, obviously they have no clue where it's gonna end up going. Knights and Crowcrowd, actually surprised to see Knights play this position. Might have been forced in by an IP. Nope, not really. I mean, okay, they go play the warehouse south of Monte. We'll slow it down a little bit. And NIP are forced to split, but they have a decent position to play from anyway. Face, high ground position, can see everything on both sides. Good spot to be in. Same thing with N47. Plenty of vision from where they are. DA now, and Mikas hears this, so he has to leave. DA and Liquid are coming in underneath. They as well. I mean, that's why this area, I mean, in all honesty, this whole area is probably one of the golden spots of this early circle, because you don't have to hard commit to one ridge line or something. And that's why I think we see EB and James sitting right here. They want to have that chance to decide for themselves which of the 3 valleys they decide to go into. New circle pups. Oh my fucking god. That's a bad shift. Wow. Okay. So for those of you guys who don't know, I've said it a billion times, but I'm glad to say it again. Everything that is in the shadow, you can kind of see the shadow running along here, right? That is unplayable terrain. And we're not talking water, and it's not good to be there. You cannot get up here. It's impossible. There's a wall, there's a physical wall, and there's an invisible wall. So even if you're in your parachute, you can't go over there. It's impossible. I think some NPL players know this very, very, very well. You can't go that way. So that's already a big chunk of the circle that is not playable. And look at how cramped these teams are. And most importantly, look at how much the focus of teams, if we draw up the circle mid, right? Look at how many teams are on the southern side compared to on the north. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 12 teams on the southern half of this circle. I'll get to your question in just a moment, Alrin. Oh, Alrein. 12 teams on the southern side. And not only can they not just go up any way they want to, but we talked about it before, mountain ridge. It takes a lot of time to rotate around in this area. And I think, honestly, a team like Reciprocity, something like that. There's absolutely nothing to come for here. And Skoom is a smart guy. They're all smart people. There's no reason for them to try and backtrack and push into that. They have to go bouncy over all this, like over the mountains. Just get around. Move around. Say, you know what, we got shifted away from. Deal with it. No reason to try and push in at all. DA, they're on the south. They can do that whole pick whatever you want thing. But as you can see, everyone is already rotating. So that's going to be extremely difficult. TSM, they're going to push over the top. Reciprocity, not over the top, but they're still kind of backtracking. But as you can see, if this next circle goes even further in, how the universe are they ever going to get even here? You have 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, there's so many teams holding off a potential push from Reciprocity. How do they get over here if this circle... Because this is only circle 2. Remember, the next circle doesn't have, like, because this counts as water as well. So the whole circle 4 land ratio thing. But that's not yet. That's the circle after the next one. So if the next one goes even further west, they're completely fucked. Like, literally, completely fucked. They try to drive over. They don't want to be forced to be late on that rotation should it happen. They get themselves some space in the middle, fortunately. Liquid in the meantime got around. Only 3 guys and without vehicles now. That's dangerous. And now the next circle, pups. Okay, so we're excluding quite a bit of this land, fortunately. We're, let me get it. Okay, we'll do it this way, guys. I'll answer questions of those, like when it's not this game dependent between the games. We'll do that. Ask all the questions that you want, then we'll go into them between the games. Liquid, they are forced to take the fight with 7, to be honest. DA pushing further forward towards him. Not sure why 6mo and can't really see who the last guy is aren't with them, but they're pushing in a 2-2, like wide 2-2 split. G2 trying to find a way in. They just can't seem to find their entrance to the circle. And now they go up on the south hill again. Play from a position from which you can go both ways. Smart play by them. New circle pups. We know it has to go away from this. And it goes down south. FaZe sitting pretty well in it. Desperados, a 2-2 split. Reciprocity found themselves into it. NIP, N47 are there as well in the north. Now we have the same 4 teams that we counted, or 3 teams that we counted earlier. It was Crow Crowd, Knights, Razor Edge, and TSM. They have to find some way into this circle. But keep in mind, once you go up here, like once you're on the hills, you're so exposed. Like, so many people can see you in that position. Desperado, don't want a 2-2 anymore. They go together. Teams finds a spot in the middle. Like they always do. NIP there in the middle as well. Teams does get found now. EB. Name a more dynamic duo than Liquid Solo in the middle. That's not really a duo, but Liquid, Solo, and I don't know. You know what I mean. Linksy over the top. 2 solos, 3 solos, a duo. Teams have clearly taken casualties trying to get here. Tobian not casting PEL. Wow, Raid. Wow. I'll get there someday. Mark my words. I don't want to say FaZe are getting circles, but holy cow, do they get a lot of circles. So this one shifts over. I don't know if FaZe are going to commit to one side yet. They're 2-2 split, but in all honesty, they might be better off going over here because this compound is going. Look at how many teams. If we split up the road, we have 2 guys from Navi. FaZe don't count because that's themselves. DA and 2 solos. So we have 2, 4, 8 players here, which means there is 8. Then we're down to 33. Then we reduce them. Then we're down to 29 players on this side. Some of us can do math while doing casting. It's not everyone that can. We got 29 players on this side of the circle that somehow has to get into this. Believe me, if no one crashes into this, I would be very surprised. We'll see now, though. I mean, they, of course, have to all fight each other, and that's the issue. They all have to push down the hill, too. It's not exactly going to be an easy push to make. Desperados going over the northern side, and as you can see, Upa and H, they just have to shoot at everything they can. Like, literally everything they can find, keep shooting. Everyone is forced to cluster on the hilltop. N47, still 4 guys alive. 1 gets knocked by blue, goes down as well. Snark gets found, circle again. Now it crosses to the right side. That allows for DA to take their compound, but they're not inside yet. They can wrap up points, though. Navi pushing in from the south. Might have a chance of making a play here. Nope, not gonna happen. DA holding them off. Good job, DA. Smart rotations. Now they cross over. Not sure exactly where they can go from there, and I don't think they are either. So they all get eliminated. Circle, centering, open, and now they know. I think this is where FaZe knows. If the next circle shifts away, and again, we've seen a lot of games where FaZe has had circles land on them, sure. But as we talked about yesterday when they had their win on against Knights, or was it the day before? I don't remember. getting the circles to your compound isn't always enough. Some teams would stay in this compound, but they realize now, good, if this next circle goes up here, or the final one, then we're completely fucked. We need to go out and make sure we don't get breached, like contained from somewhere. And you can see they're running around trying to secure the spaces. Uber goes down. They find the flush on one. They get the rest up again. Again, keep 4 guys alive. No reason to take what do you call it? Unreasonable chances. Stupid chances, I guess you can say. No reason to do that. 4 guys up again. Ooh, as I say that, they do get themselves flushed in. So now, Crow Crowd, the 2 sodas are eliminated. Nogi over the top. It's a 3v2. They do get the res up. Interesting. 1 more knock comes into Timmy. Or from, towards Mixie. I mean, sorry, wow. Can't even talk anymore. So he's on the bottom side. And they win it. Good job, Crow Crowd. So FaZe, 2 second places. As I said, no guarantee that just because they get the circles that you win the game. So 2 second places in a row for FaZe. Obviously, they're doing pretty damn well these days on Miramar. Yes, they do get circles toward their compounds, but they play well. They do really well with what they're given. And that's what you got to do. So that was game number 2. We'll go into game number 3 in just a short moment. There were some questions asked that I will answer, or at least try to. This one was the first one. Why can't I scroll up? There you go. Do you think the strategy of crashing 4v2 without info is good? I mean the Liquid style, when they understand that they're probably going into a free position of crashing 4v2. I think if you do it really early game, like if you crash early game a compound, then you might even be 4v1, and then it would be worth it to some extent, depending on the compound, depending on the circles, and what info you have available at the time. Yes, it can be worth it. But there's also situations, and there's a lot of teams that don't really care for it because you don't need to. But as long as you go 4 together, I mean, if you know for a fact that there's not going to be 4 guys there, then you have the upper hand anyway. What do you think about splitting to get more space against the risk of a team crashing you? Okay, so that's exactly the same question, just the other way around. It's worth it. I mean, as long as you have an exit plan or escape plan. Of course, you don't want to have one guy here and a guy over here and a guy up there. I mean, you want to be in positions from where you can help one another. So if you want to split, this is the worst example because we're on Sanhok and teams don't want to split that much on Sanhok. But play positions, this could have been any map. I'm just drawing compounds. Play positions that can assist each other. So even though you might not have a visual on the other compound, you have to be able to get there quick if it gets hot. Or your teammates have to be able to get to you fast if they get breached, or those things. So you can split, but split smart, especially if you want to like split with one guy. You can split 2-2 and play most things, but yeah, exactly. You want to play from positions from which you can help each other. Exactly. As long as you play it smart. They only do that because they knew that they weren't going to get breached on the other side. I was surprised that no one tried to push down. But then again, when you're up on that hilltop that we saw last game, how the hell do you get a vehicle down that hill and crash a compound? It's practically impossible. Because everyone else will be shooting at you, including FaZe, and your vehicle is going to blow up before it even gets there. And I think that's why they said, good, we can play this position still, because no one's going to be able to breach us anyway. Now let's go over into game 3. We have made our way back over to Sanhok, everyone's favorite map. Said no one ever. And we go north, which means that this game is most likely going to end around Paradise. We don't know that yet, but we're just guessing. Any interesting things we should know about? Ends there further north. They've been looting down here before. Game of Legion, they're still sharing this with DA. I don't know how that works. But these guys always do strange things down and around here. DA and G2, they're really fighting for it. Everyone is crashing the same compounds because they want to be sender early on. DA, they're going to find Liquid. G2 gets a chance to third party if they want to. FaZe gets a chance to third party if they want to. TSM gets a chance to third party if they want to. Everybody wants to send the compounds because it's Sanhok and you don't want to get caught on the edges without being able to do anything. Now let's see reciprocity. They're rotating late. They know they have room to maneuver around. Udyr on his scooter is going to make his way in. Game of Legion in boats. Didn't want to cross the bridge, understandably so, because 7, were they holding the bridge? Yeah, they were pretty hard keeping that bridge. They were making sure that nobody could cross. Game of Legion read that, so great playing by them. Plenty of people in the south now. 3 teams in Paradise. Open in the middle. Why, you ask? Because it is open. I mean, down here around the water, it's like one big open field over to that compound. And also, we know it's going to shift away from the water at some point, so that's tricky. I like how 7, Ratio Edge, they leave this compound because they know I mean, they might even have heard people shoot, but that there's teams north, so they want to contain. They have this road that they can kind of play to their advantage and wait for them to cross over. 7 kind of doing the same thing. You can see them shooting up towards Game of Legion, trying to hold them off. Now they have to change the third party. Greedy, but I don't know if they know that Ratio Edge is here, because they came in late. So right now it looks like 7 is focused this way. I don't know if they know there's a team over here. Oh, now they do get shot at, but they don't get shot at before they actually cross. You can see now 60 spots one of them, right? And it would probably have been smart. That's what we talk about every time we talk about rivers and roads and stuff. Keep one guy on the other side, just so whenever you do have to go back at some point, which I would assume happens with the circle shift. Yep, it went away from them. Keep one guy on the other side so you have someone that can assist or at least make some space while you try to make a play. Crow Crowd, they run away. They don't want to fight. 7, they get a knock on Hamster. They push in, eliminating Game of Legion. Buster is the only guy alive now. No way, they're all on top of each other. 3 guys alive. They now have to make the run back, and that's the issue, because since they don't have a guy here, that allows for Ratio Edge to fully focus. I mean, had he been here trying to help contain, then they probably wouldn't have committed that hard to try and hold these guys up north. Now Crow Crowd can push back and start doing damage, and all of a sudden 7 are the ones being swamped. So the idea is good, that they want to push over and engage in the third party, but I think they commit too hard to it. And now they're chasing. Now they're chasing Crow Crowd. It's like, get the fuck away from us! We're trying to do our rotations! And then Timmy's gonna be the only one that survives. So that was all the action on the northern side of the circle. Let's see what happens down south while all this escalated. TSM, go to the compound. Liquid has this position. And these are pretty high tier places to play from because it's a 3-way road. So you can get so much vision from all these different angles. Because the road is obviously just a road, so you can see all the way up who crossed, how many crossed. Do we have any additional info we can play from? So all these kind of 3-way intersection roads are really smart to play. Circle centers on knights. They're sitting dead center. Is anyone gonna go middle? I was looking at reciprocity thinking they might want to push down, but I don't think that's what they're gonna do. In the meantime, everybody knows that Paradise has been shifted away from. So ends, they go up and try and see if they can get some kills on that side. Hello, Zach. Trying to see if they can hold off something. Migas and Triflet just waiting. Sneaky snakes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams up here now. TSM, I think, wanted to push down this way, but because of was it Empty shooting towards them? I'm not sure. They decided to go over the top to try and see if they can contain. Also, if they know that they have all this to themselves, that's gonna make for a much easier play from them. But they get eliminated. G2 gets eliminated. Desperados, they're racking up a lot of points here, I think. How many kills do they have so far? 2. Never mind. Everyone else got the kills. Shouldn't Liquid try to get to the little compound? What little compound? You mean the shack? This? That's just one shack. I don't think that's where you want to play from. It's just one little building. Like one little shack, and you're completely exposed to this side. And if you're hiding here while they're shooting, then these guys can start shooting down towards you. So that's... I don't think that's going to be worth it, no. On Sanhok in particular, you want to split as little as possible. Because there's just always teams everywhere. And it's like, if you're splitting just, they say this and this, odds are that you won't be able to get there in time. Because when you, so let's talk about vision, right? When you're playing Miramar, if you have anything that is just a little high ground, you can normally see a kilometer away. On Sanhok, for the most part, I don't even think Rory can see Simsi because of the terrain, because of all the trees, because of all the rocks. And it's just too dangerous because there could be 4 guys proning here and Simsi wouldn't know it. On Sanhok, no, on Erangel and on Miramar, for the most part, with the exception of the forest by mansion and all those things, you can't really do that unless if you're in cities. So I think that's a good analogy. I think you have to play Sanhok a lot like you would play a city ending. So play together. You can split if you have the info, but once there's the smallest chance of teams being or players being between you, you have to play together again. That's why I think you see everyone is playing together. Desperado or Reciprocity, I mean, sorry, they know that they have this entire side clear, so they can hold this, hold that, and as we talked about before, get that buffer zone bigger. Monkey knows that from here, we'll throw it another color, up to here, there's no one there. Shift probably knows that from here down to here, there's no one there. And that means that they can keep people at bay. They can keep a distance so they can still control what they do. That makes sense? I hope it does. Hey Zach, did you subscribe? I don't know why it didn't pop up. I'll look into it. Circle shifts south. Everyone north of the road is pretty much dead anyway, so it's not really the biggest impact. Liquid does have to push out though. N47, they run into Reciprocity. Great hold by 2 players. They do go down though, unfortunately, in the end. Skoom all by himself, pushed up by Navi. Now Knights and N47 forced into an engagement here. 4 guys alive. Navi, look at how much control they take now. They know, good, we're 4 guys alive. Hey, there it was. 4 guys alive from Navi. We need to split out, we need to take control. Again, they've just cleared everything down here. Now we need to sit on the circle and let teams come to us. It could come to bite them because if, let's say, Poker goes down to one of the Knights players, then Senya goes over to help. That leaves Best of Luck and Adusi in the 2v4. It's dangerous, but they split out because they believe they have the control. Great, double knocks on towards Ivel and Page. T-Bone down, now they know it's a 4v2. Boom, boom. And they get themselves 11 kills. Good game by Navi. So I think from an analytical perspective, just like if we see city endings, it becomes very difficult to do proper analysis from a map stream. It's the same with Sanhok. I would love to do more actual, what do you call it? More actual footage analysis, but I can't do that. I mean, I don't know if I can. I have asked and they haven't answered. So hopefully I'll be able to do that. And yes, I could just do it, but I've heard people getting banned and different things for doing those things before, so I'm just not gonna take the chance. No reason to risk doing that. Erangel though, game number 4. Let's change this. Game number 4. Decent plane. Boom, 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 boom. If they want to, everyone can go where they want. Ratio edge going north, no one's military. And the circle is north. Okay. That's a pretty standard. Everyone can kind of do what they want to type beginning of the game. Now we don't know yet where the next circle is going to go. That's always interesting. But right off the bat, let me know, guys. If you were, let's say you were in Reciprocity's position. You were playing down here. Would you want to cross or would you stay south? Just in general, actually. It doesn't really matter who you are. We have the water. We can continue the line. Let's say we draw the line somewhere like this. In this circle, on your first rotation, would you be north or south of this line? If you're watching on YouTube, you can answer that question too. Would you be north or would you be south of this line? You would split. King is a smart man. A spot where you can go both ways. Bjorn and King, they read my trick question. Good shit, boys. Seems like Bjorn here has been watching my analysis. That's why he knows these things, you know? But that's correct. You want to have a chance of making... You can take any split, honestly. It of course depends on where you are on the map. But you want to be in a position from where you can play both sides. Because right now we have no clue where it's going to go. And you can count this as a river too, just because it's an open field. So it's tricky. South is very compound heavy. Up here is extremely compound heavy. Here you can play forest more. Here you can play forest. It's pretty much just a split if you think about it. Forest, forest, open, open, river. So you want to be in a position from which you can play on both sides. It can be literally anywhere. We'll see though. Let's see how these teams decide to rotate up. Knights taking their time, not in a hurry. Reciprocity, they're split. The Reciprocity is getting more and more room these days. Scoom looting yellows. I'm not sure why it does it, but I guess they do get some more control doing that. And also I think that has kicked out. Because there was a time where DA would send people down to these buildings. And now that Scoom is out here, I think that has kind of forced them to stay up. I believe it was Mert that used to do it. Loot one of these two compounds. But now that they have sent Scoom out to land in ruins and take the car there, that kind of forces Mert to... Because before he could just stand here and look this way if he wanted to. Now, with Scoom out here, he would have to... Like, he could potentially get pushed from two sides and they don't want to do that. Did I win? Yes, you won this. Congratulations. Desperados splitting the northern side. They're gonna rotate, get themselves looted and get going. Squeaky is gonna go north early. DA committing over on the other side, but staying far enough down that, as I say, that they go full on. No, never mind. They just lost all chances of rotating back again. N47, they're gonna go north as well. And the reason why, we just talked about it. Forest, plenty of playable areas. Forest, field, yes, but you can play the most things. Here, this area alone, let's just draw it up real quick. All right. This area, if the circle goes up here, we've seen it go here a lot of times before. If the circle goes here, there is very little you can play from. Let's just draw it up. And we're talking early game. We're not talking, oh, there could be 3 guys on each their things here, because there wouldn't be early game. But this is really about it. I don't think you would play this early game, but you can, I guess. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 playable. Yes, you can play the shacks, but would you do that circle too? Oh, down here? Yeah. And this shack. Oh yeah, I guess you can play the Pages shack down up here. In any case, that still makes it what? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 spots available for potentially 16 teams. And some of them might actually be splitting. So there's a lot of terrain here. I'm not sure exactly in square meters how much it is, but it's a pretty big chunk of this. Is only circle 1, right? A pretty big chunk of the circle where there's really not a whole lot to play compared to how many teams are normally alive when they go to this area. So teams want to commit to that early. N47, they might not have a player on each side of the water, but they can still, not always, but there's enough of a wrap back opportunity for them that they can go back should they need to. Does that make sense? They prioritize going up here. One goes down. Now they have to go back, play the compound. Simsy can go up, get some loot if that's what he needs. And they can play it from there. In the meantime, Game Legion, sit on the southern side. Try and get control of both sides, but they just saw Scoom and Udyr, it seems to be. Yep, in the wizard, so they can't just cross as they please. Liquid. Keep people on both sides. Team stays behind. Face, they're wrapping over the backside. Back in the day, Face would always play this position. It was called Face Compound for a while. It seems like they're scouting down in that northern direction too. New circle pops. And we're going right up here. So for Desperados, at this point already, I would assume them to not keep a three-way split anymore. I don't know if they're gonna go like 2-2 and give up the warehouse, or if they're gonna go 2-2 up here, but losing a center position. No, I would think they go 2-2 if anything. Maybe they're actually gonna keep their split. I don't know. We'll see. But this is just what I was going to say. A lot of people will be coming in. And as you can see, Tamil forced to go down to help really early on. Simsi is there. Now they're keeping this 2-2 split. Okay, that makes more sense. NIP, they get the west side. Gamer Legion, they get to cross. Macken goes down. Bjorn and Vex play a center position, but it's hard to play from. Gamer Legion, TSM, still on the other side. Now the circle goes over, and the next one has to go away from the water. So we're actually going up into this area we just talked about. And already now, we're down to 2 available spots. In all of this, you can see how much room there is, technically. How much room we have, where there's nobody. But we're down to very few playable areas, which means that all the teams on the edges that haven't found their way in yet, they're already starting to cluster up. You can see Navi down here, Reciprocity, Liquid, DA, they have a 3-way split. Not sure why Mithralis is going for this when they have the gas station. Gamer Legion caught on the south side as well. I cannot say TSM today for some reason. They're committing. G2 are going in as well. And now TSM, this is a last resort type thing. They're committing to shacks. They're sitting in each their shack, hoping that the circles go to them. Because if it doesn't, well, then you're most likely fucked. To say it politely. Base, they have the compound on the northern side. And this is actually really annoying for Desperados that Rory is here. Even Iroh's position, because that means that this connection they had between these two compounds just got fucked. Also, the fact that FaZe is here, they can apply pressure. So whenever, like, they can't really peek on this side anymore because FaZe will be able to see them. They can only utilize this. And from over here, they can't see their teammates. That will, at least. And also, there's the risk of TSM potentially pushing up towards them. Navi, they scout down. They see that gas station is free. They get to crash that. Skoom sees them leaving. They'll take that. NBS tries to leave. But Liquid finds him. He's going to go down. And now we're going even further up into the open. I'm sure TSM is going to be all kinds of happy with that. Even though their position isn't necessarily the best one to be in. Reciprocity, what can you play in this circle? Not a lot. There's a few rocks down here you can play. But outside you have to crash something. Gamer Legion, do they still have cars? Doesn't seem like they have vehicles. They're gonna wrap underneath, maybe push up towards here. There's like a low point down here, little valley type area that was added a half year ago or something when they reworked that whole area that they can go down and play in, or just try and push up towards. Yeah, I think they're gonna have to take the fight to them now. Wait for that new circle to pop. Reciprocity pushed underneath to the other one. Shack. I mean, shack. Oh, not even a shack, but like the whole what do you call it? Antenna thingy. I think they have a couple of rocks here, maybe, to play from. Not exactly the most optimal position to be in. Now the circle goes up here again, and look at this. Desperados, of course, they want to go down to their teammates, but they have to drive through this now. That can be extremely dangerous. Somehow they make it anyway. Team Liquid, 4 guys crashing, 1 shack. And I'm not laughing at them. It's just, I mean, we're in a situation here where we're in circle 4. 5 make that, and a full team is forced to crash a shack. That's when you know there's nothing to play in that circle. There's literally nothing you can play in this circle. Yes, there's another shack here and a shack here. That's what you got. And this is a wooden shack too, I believe. Or is it this one? This is a normal shack. This is a wooden shack, right? Oh no. I'm pretty sure that's the case. And anyway, tough position to be in. I always mess up which one of these two are what, but this one is the normal wood. Yeah, I think that's the case. NIP, they can try and push up on the backside, but they know that Ens is up here. That's not gonna be what can you do? I mean, there's nothing you can do. Crow Crowd, they realize they have NIP on the other side of the road. Liquid YOLO commits to a center position, expecting to maybe get some placement points, because there's no way they're going to be fracking out from this position. So Crow Crowd is forced to bounce further south. Navi is already in trouble trying to fight two teams. Now another third team comes up to shoot at them. Game of Legion, they're just trying to run in with a circle. Hamster goes down. Reciprocity trying to hold off Bjorn. He gets himself one. G2, I mean, G2, even though we said early, that's a kind of early commitment to a position, I actually really blessed with that now. I guess you can say. NIP, they try to crash the shack, but TSM crashed that 3 circles ago. Bjorn, I see what you did there, Bjorn. Oh, casually look south. Oh, wait, I killed the team. Ha 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 ha. Oh, Bjorn, you never change, do you? Yeah, I know. It's a good play considering that you guys had absolutely nothing. But you end up getting the wipe. Good job. Now, I wonder if FaZe will just commit 4 guys to their shack too, or if they're gonna play it different. 8 Sin Uber goes around. They play the dip. There's like a little dip thingy underneath that you can. Well, you can kind of play it when this is in and when none of this is playable. You can move around down here. They get the ridge line, and EB can't really peek anything anyway. Mexi comes down to help him. EB kinda sorta needs to hold off ends, but he's getting a lot of help from other teams. Desperado, all kinds of happy with the position they're gonna be in. Bjorn goes down. Was running in the open for a long time, so not a whole lot he could do. Gustav and Ivro probably playing around with smokes down here, trying to stay put. Squeaky ends up going down. EB once again top 5 position, considering that, and this is what they did. This is why they did it. I mean, Liquid knew we're not gonna go here and get 15 kills, guns blazing, and just kill everything. We are going here with the chance that 1, maybe 2 people survive, and then no one can breach us, and we'll just chill in this position until the game ends. That, I think, is what they play this position for, and that's exactly what happens. They get themselves. Like, they survived through all the edge cluster that we saw before. And now we're into top 4. And EB might go down here, but they already have what? I mean, they have 3 points. That would be a 7-point game for them. 7 points in a game like this, where the circles go so much against them. That's, I mean, for any team, that's a good game. So we'll see now. Desperados holding off top 3. That's even more points. And he goes down now, right? Yeah. So he gets 3rd place. 6, 5, 8-point game for Liquid. Should probably have gone down here, to be honest. Had they died all here, that would have been a 2-point game for them. But now they get 8 instead. Very, very impressive. Final circle, FaZe pushing up. And they go down. 3rd, 2nd place on the day for Liquid. Oh, for FaZe, I mean. That is, that's tough. Wait. Didn't break the bridge, so died. Oh, well, in any case, he would probably have died anyway, as you said. I'm just wondering here. Never mind. Okay, so FaZe has, in 4 games, 3 second places. That's pretty impressive. Also, the way they played this one, going down to that position in the end. Nice call by them to commit south. They had Fuzz there to kind of hold the angle and make sure that they couldn't really do a lot against it. So it worked out for them. But an impressive day for FaZe. Impressive overall, what they've been able to do lately. Now let's see. Last game of yesterday. Last game of the week. Boom. N47 out early. Don't want to go to Yas. Raise Your Edge, TSM, and FaZe go here. And it's a melee potential military game. Huh. I'm still waiting for this to happen. I'm going to look at Senior and say, will you camp Liquid? Runs down here. Drives away. Where's Liquid? There they are. It happens every time. Senior, I know you've been here before and watched these analysis streams. When are you gonna stay and get kills? Bjorn, you're here. When are you guys gonna stop letting Liquid get there for free? It shouldn't be allowed for a Pochinki team to go to military that fast and not pay ever. Contest your spot or make a pre. You can do both. I know they do, Cup. I know they do. it just always buckles. Like it just looks so scripted every time it happens. He goes that way. They come that way. And it has happened. Go back and watch my analysis streams. It has happened every single military game. There was one game where Game of Legion rotated across faster than them actually. And it didn't work for them. There was one game where Game of Legion crossed before Liquid did. But other than that, it's always been like this. So funny. And I know they will just kill him because they know for a fact that there's no way two people are here. So they would just all forced up and then they might get one guy knocked, but Sinya would go down and then it wouldn't be worth it anyway. It's just fun. At least stay up here and shoot at the vehicle and then drive down. Just do something. Do something. It's so much against the logic of public game mentality to not camp the bridge, you know? Maybe it's gonna be different next phase when we get the warehouse here also. Would that change anything? Maybe he doesn't get the loot that he needs when he lands. Because he always goes here, straight up, right? Or maybe sometimes he does this, depending on the circle. But I think this is also a fact for Senya to go, you know what? Liquid is coming in 3, 2, 1. I have to get out of here before they get here. Maybe whenever the warehouse comes into play, they could loot 2 people in this area and that could change things. Would it be worth it? I'm not sure. Glass house. This, and warehouse. Can you loot 2 people in that? Nah, it's probably better. It's probably better to split it the way that they do, to be honest. In any case, let's continue the game. He drives up, Liquid comes down. Game of Legion, they're getting themselves looted. FaZe, they're splitting down here. We've seen that become somewhat of an issue before, but seems like Mexi wasn't up there in time. Liquid gets to go around. Now Game of Legion's turn to drive across. Ooh, they turn immediately too. They will take the neighboring compound. 7, they know what's up. 7 will bridge camp. They know what's up. They will stay on the east side in the meantime. G2 started. Wait, what happened here? Oh, they got the car. Interesting, because it's normally Ratio Edge that loots military and then TSM is over in Novo. But because they got the car, they were all 4 in one vehicle. They see them in there already. They have to dip. Okay, fair enough. TSM won the race. Yeah, they'll go east on the bridge all the time. But I don't think they're used to have a Novo team potentially holding them. Lynxy, hello? No. Too optimistic to think they were going to do anything. G2 always get across easy. You want to keep your vehicles. You don't want to travel with boat. And then there's the off chance that you don't get a vehicle on the other side. So they'll have a safe rotation there. On the back foot, down south they go. Oh, do they know they're there? Yep, seems like they do. And they will go west. Which makes perfect sense because the circle's over there anyway. Now 7. They have a bridge camp. That's Kelvin down. Bridge camp successful. It's fun. I hope you're not taking me serious when I say that. Normally, I hope people take me serious when I do this, but it's just fun. I'm just having fun right now. Reciprocity crossing over as the last team on the east side. Let me just see what you guys say. They would roll through just no trouble, blah, blah, blah. Loot more, condensed, and castle way closer. That is true. Phase 2 didn't run East Bridge while before they took boats south of farm. And Copper Magic, he was there to answer very quickly because he is a smart guy and he works with the guys. And he says it depends on the vehicles. And that makes perfect sense. You want to have the loadout that you're looking for in order to make those rotations. Now the circle, we still have water in, so oh my lord, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is actually kind of funny because 7, they're normally the team that goes down here and takes the boat. Sometimes they've taken 2 boats, but okay, so N47 took that one. So nobody has taken the ferry pier boats yet. Boat. Oh, Desperados wanted it, but I do see there. Are they camping boats? Is that what's happening? Hello? Is that a thing? Why would they shoot so early then? Oh, I thought they were camping boats. That's a pretty smart thing. I've not seen that in a very... There was a time where people would camp... where was it? Now I'm losing track. I think it was over here. There was a game where people were camping boats or sit down here and try and get the kills. It would fuck themselves over, but they would get 4 kills, so it was kind of worth. But I'm not sure what Navi, if there was a boat camp split or what it was, but I mean, they obviously get their boat and they get to cross. Gamer Legion, they found Liquid. TSM, they're taking one side of the road with Face on the other. This is an aggressive split considering they just had a player knocked. Normally I would think that they would push all the people up there then. DA can't find their entry point. Crow Crowd are like, nope, we're rotating around. They're fighting miles out in the blue and we get more water. Wow. Okay, this is fun. Krabik, he's trying to hold off Mexi and Phosphate. He has to get the hell out of there. If he has any plans of survival, it's not gonna happen. G2 want to get over the top. They're rotating into Crow Crowd. And they're rotating from there straight into Knights. They need to push up on foot. Knights should have hurt the vehicles, I would assume. Yes, they did. They're holding them off pretty well. Crow Crowd, they just come crashing straight into it. Hey guys, you want more kills? Bloop. They get taken down and all of it. Circle, of course, has to shift away from water, kinda. Could you imagine this happening? That would have been fucking hilarious. Just like, wham, goes up there. So now we're in a situation where this entire hillside is really hard to play as long as these guys are sitting in the compound. At the same time, as long as you have these guys in... Wait, let me just draw it up earlier. We've drawn this before. And even if you watch the Grand Slam, I was actually talking about this as part of the post-game analysis. This area is a no. This is hard to play with the compound in play. And I guess you can say the backside of this is hard to play with this in. So as long as this is in, and this is in, those 3 spots become really, really difficult to play. And also, of course, you have the entire beach, which is just a no-go. Watch this circle, how much terrain you don't want to be in. Because all these 3 spots, yes, this is not inside the next circle, but Gamer Legion are probably not going to leave here before they know that the guys on their southwest are eliminated. Look at, we have all 3 positions in still, which means that all these 3 spots are still not unplayable, but very, very hard to play from. That is interesting. We still have 3, is it more than 3 teams? Oh my god, we still have DA up there as well. So we still have 4 teams, and everyone is saying, ENS, just cross the freaking bridge already, we want to go. But nobody can because ENS are sitting there. And of course, ENS don't just want to YOLO cross the bridge. Now they're running across. Speaking of YOLO crossing, they're starting to run. They're splitting up. Mikas is inside the circle. More teams are coming in. DA might be the team to do the YOLO crossing here. But now it's NIP. Full speed forward. Vard goes down. Oh my lord. Instead of harvesting kills on the bridge and they go down. Sadovnik was there to do damage. They go down. Gamer Legion, as I said before, trying to hold off. And you can see now they can try and push up because Gamer Legion has left the compound. So they're not exposed there anymore. They knew they had to leave. They're playing the backside until it's out. Still unplayed. Ratio Edge is up here because no one is holding them from the compound. Because 7 was focusing on the bridge. New circle shifts out east. Or, no, not really east. It's center. But out into the open nonetheless. TSM trying to wrap underneath. This area is a little different now than what it was. There's more cover. You have those new. I think there's like a couple of broken USs and is it BDSM? They're called like the amphibious vehicles. There's a couple of them lined up down here now, which there weren't or aren't in this because they're playing the older Erangel. Pushing over the hilltop because they know no one is on the hill behind them. Good split from or play from TSM. BDRM. BDSM. Raise your edge. Felt the pressure going up to secure the BRDM. I like BDSM more. I think that's a better name. I don't know which weird turn this just took. This is actually a smart play from Raise Your Edge. First of all, they're in those dips that are really hard to keep control of. But look at the way they're constantly moving around. Shots fired over here. Let's go over and apply pressure. Run back. Hold this side. They cannot let a team come in behind them. Because then they would be in all kinds of trouble. And they allowed, and they get killed. You see, as soon as TSM gets control of the hill, they get the angle and they get to interfere. Had Raise Your Edge been aware, like fully cleared on this side, then they could have taken this fight much more under control. But now it doesn't work out and they end up losing 2 players. They do get down 2 from FaZe, but still they lose 2. Buster, still alive. He's gonna chill inside the compound, probably just gonna hide in the toilet for a while. Oh wait, it's a shack actually, so there's no toilet for him to hide in. Runs out on the ridge line. TSM still 3 guys up. 8C is by himself. This is I'll tell you again next game, but this is actually insane. And yes, I know that FaZe gets a lot of circles, but it's not all luck. I mean, you don't get that lucky that much. It's also because they play smart. Fabster. I don't even know if that's. I know that the SM part of it is short for something, but I don't know if that's actually a thing you say. In any case, ooh, Raise Your Edge 1v2, so they win 2 games on the day. Impressive. But also just gotta say, I mean, you guys can say everything you want about circles, but FaZe, they get 3 second places and a 3rd place. 3 second places and a 3rd place. That is very impressive. Very impressive. I think, at least. And Raise Your Edge get themselves 2 wins off of a really tough week, so that is extremely good for them. They had that record for the fewest points on a day. Now they get 20 points alone just on the win points on 2 games. They probably had quite a few kills with this one too. 6 kills. That's going to be even more. That's going to be 8 kills by the end of this. So 8 kill win, 18 points. Boom.